Hi everybody, here are my financial predictions for 2012. As many of you will know, I've been going on and on about precious metals. In 2008, when gold was $850 an ounce and silver a mere $11 an ounce. This year, 2011, we've seen gold at 1900, we've seen silver approaching 50. And whilst there has been a pullback because these markets are some of the most manipulated markets in the world, and I've had a lot of panicked emails and phone calls and messages, my goodness, gold has dropped back so badly, what's happening? Please don't panic. The fundamentals are still there. I still say that we're in a very long bull gold silver market to come. There's still huge debts that are ballooning out of control. Governments are still going to do more QE or printing of money. And here's the thing, central banks have doubled their purchases of gold in this last year. Why would they be doing that if gold wasn't going to be used in some way as a backup for our currencies right now that are pretty much worthless, as we can see? So I'm predicting for this year coming that gold is going to go into the 2000s, possibly even as high as 3,000, and silver 50 and above. What I must say to you though is it's going to be much, much more volatile. So whereas we've seen movements of $100 up or down a day, we might see movements of $300, even $400 in a day. And I'm anticipating this. So it's not for the faint-hearted, but we are in a long bull market to come. Stocks. I anticipate that by the end of 2012, the Dow Jones and the S&P will be lower than they are right now, even though we've got an election year, which often can be good for stocks. I don't anticipate that this year coming. As far as currency is concerned, I think there will be a dollar rally, particularly for the first half of the year and possibly even a little bit further into the year. I would suggest that you're not totally invested in dollars. I would put, if you want to look at other currencies, probably the Canadian currency, the Swiss franc, and possibly the Australian dollar. But again, it's going to be very, very volatile. You'll have to keep your eye on it all of the time if you want to invest in currencies. Banks. Banks are going to be very volatile. I think certain banks are going to come down. I think there's a very strong possibility that Bank of America is close to failing. Wells Fargo I'd be careful with. US Bank I'd be careful with. There's a few banks to be quite careful with, and what I would suggest is spread your money around different banks, at least so that you've not got all eggs in one basket. Real estate. I predicted that we'd see bubbles bursting. Boy, have we seen that, and even in the countries that looked relatively stable at the beginning of last year, like Australia, even New Zealand, China, these property bubbles are now beginning to burst. Australia's just reduced its interest rates. The outlook on China is not so hot. And also what I'm seeing as well, I would say don't be in too much of a hurry to buy real estate because I think the prices are coming down further, much further. So what you can buy today might be half that price, even a few months from now. So as well, I'd be careful about real estate because we are going to see more changing weather patterns and more seismic activity. And I don't think it's going to be necessarily clear as where land or property is necessarily going to be safe. You may invest in something and it may not be a safe area to have put your money into. And I certainly wouldn't go into debt during this time. I would try to pay down your debts and get out of debt if at all possible. I think the downturn markets are going to be in things like cosmetics, in jewellery, in clothing, in the law. I think towards the second half of the year, we're going to see downturn in the police, in security, in funeral, anything connected with funerals. Anything connected with insurance, there'll be a downturn. The banks, the financial institutions. I think finally there will be a downturn, particularly towards the end of this year. The The growth markets, I think we'll see in technology, in computing, in anything connected with communications, mobile apps, writing, cell phones, social networking, transportation, anything involving robotics, nanotechnology. I think that's going to become more widespread. You might want to get involved in things, products that use nanotechnology. For example, I've got a friend in Germany. She sprays her toilet and her bathroom surfaces just once every 3 months, and the dirt just runs off. It's like a protective film. And it's amazing. Imagine never having to clean another toilet again. So all these gadgets, labour-saving devices, anything that's involved with that, any inventions, I think more inventions, we're going to see more inventions, but educational devices, educational games, I think will be a growth market. And anything involving the power of the mind will be growing in one way or another. How we can use our minds to heal ourselves so we don't need so much medical intervention. I think this will also be a growth market. So my tips to you once again is have 3 months, at least 3 months cash, not in a bank. Keep a small amount of cash in the bank. I'd be buying gold and silver now if you haven't already got it. I'd be buying at these prices. They do look to me a bargain. Let me tell you, the price could still come down again, but it will go up. It's on its way up. That's the way I'm seeing it, despite all the flack that we're hearing from other pundits and experts. Make sure you've got some kind of backup electricity. I think with the changing weather patterns, it's important to maybe even just have a little solar charger for your laptop and your cell phone. At least then you'll be able to be in touch with people and not feel as though you're totally isolated. I'd make sure you've got an evacuation pack, you've got some survival goods, 3 months water, 3 months food, and copies of all your important documents. Don't forget to do that and put them in a few different places, just in case you have to move at short notice. Those are my predictions for 2012. I wish you a happy, safe, peaceful New Year. Thank you for listening, and please pass this video on if you like it, share it, and pass it on so that others can listen to it. Very best wishes for the new year. Bye for now.